In this video, I will explain how to solve a Bertrand oligopoly problem in which two firms produce differentiated goods. So let's jump into an example. This says, consider a Bertrand oligopoly market in which two firms produce differentiated goods. The demand functions for the firms is given by the following equations. Firm 1 has the following demand function. Q1, so the quantity produced by firm 1, will be equal to 12 minus 2P1, the price set by firm 1, plus P2, the price set by firm 2. And firm 2 has a similar demand function. Q2 is equal to 12 minus 2P2 plus P1. Assume each firm has a marginal cost of $0. Find the price and quantity chosen by each firm. Now, in a Bertrand oligopoly, two firms are choosing their prices simultaneously. Now, this is different than something like a Cournot oligopoly, in which the two firms choose their quantities simultaneously. Now, in this case, we're told that the firms produce differentiated goods. So the way that we're going to figure out the price and quantity chosen by each firm is we'll first start with firm 1, and we'll recognize that firm 1 is able to maximize their profits when the following is true. Their marginal revenue is equal to their marginal cost. So we know that their marginal cost is 0, so we just need to figure out what is their marginal revenue. Well, we'll start by finding the revenue function. So let's say R1, the revenue for firm 1, that's going to be equal to P1, so the price that firm 1 charges, times Q1, so the quantity that they sell. So this is our basic equation for revenue. Revenue is price times quantity. Now we're told that Q1 is equal to this right here. So what we can do is plug this in for Q1 into our revenue function. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll say revenue 1, the revenue of firm 1 is equal to P1 times that quantity. So 12 minus 2P1 plus P2. So if we distribute the P1 into the parentheses, we get 12P1 minus 2P1 squared plus P1 times P2. So this is our revenue function for firm 1. Now the marginal revenue function for firm 1, so let's say MR sub 1, that's going to be the derivative of that revenue function with respect to P1. So the derivative of this function with respect to P1, that would be 12 minus, in this term, we take the exponent and multiply it by the coefficient. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then we reduce the exponent by 1. So we end up with 4P1 plus the derivative of this term is just going to be the derivative of P1, which is 1 times P2. So we're just left with P2. So here's our marginal revenue function for firm 1. And remember, we're going to set that equal to the marginal cost, which we know is 0. So we'll set this expression equal to 0, and we'll solve for P1. So if we solve for P1, we'll find that 4P1 is equal to, we'll have 12 plus P2. And to solve for P1, we can divide every term by 4. So we'll find that P1 is equal to 12 divided by 4, that's 3, plus P2 divided by 4. So this is known as our reaction function for firm 1. And this function tells us the price that firm 1 will choose based on the price that firm 2 chooses. So this P2 right here. So the next step is we're going to repeat this process, but we're going to do it for firm 2. So firm 2 will also maximize their profit when marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So let's start by finding the revenue function of firm 2. So R2, let's say, that will be equal to the price set by firm 2 times the quantity sold by firm 2. So that's going to be equal to P2, and in this case for Q2 right here, we're going to plug in this quantity right here. So that would be 12 minus 2P2 plus P1. So if we distribute the P2 into the parentheses, we get 12P2 minus 2P2 squared plus P2 times P1. So here's our revenue function for firm 2. Our marginal revenue function for firm 2 is just going to be the derivative of that function with respect to P2. So the derivative of this function with respect to P2, that's going to be 12 minus 4P2 plus P1. And remember, we're setting this marginal revenue function equal to the marginal cost, which we know is 0. And we're going to solve for P2 this time. So we'll find that 4P2 is equal to 12 plus P1. To get P2 all by itself, we'll divide every term by 4, and we'll find that P2 is equal to 12 divided by 4 is 3, plus P1 divided by 4. We'll just leave it like that. So here is our reaction function for firm 2. And this tells us the price that firm 2 will set based on the price set by firm 1. So we have found our two reaction functions. The final step is we're just going to pick one of these functions and plug it into the other function. So I'm going to clear a little bit of space here. Okay, so here's the two reaction functions that we found. Now what we can do is we can take this quantity for P2, so we'll take this quantity and plug it in for P2 right here into the P1 reaction function, and we'll be able to solve for P1. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll say P1 is equal to 3, and it will help if we write this as plus 1/4 times P2. So remember, for P2, we're plugging in this quantity right here. So let's go ahead and erase that and write 3 plus, we'll have 1/4 times P1. So if we simplify a little bit, we find that P1 is equal to 3 plus 1/4 times 3, that's 3/4, plus 1/4 times 1/4, that's 1/16 P1. Now remember, we're solving for P1. So here we have a coefficient of 1 in front of the P1. That's the same as 16 over 16. So if we want, we can do it 16 over 16 P1 minus 1/16 P1. So that would give us 15/16 P1 is equal to, here we have 3 plus 3/4. So 3, that's the same as 12 over 4. So 12 over 4 plus 3 over 4, that's 15 over 4. So let's write 15 over 4. Now lastly, to solve for P1, we can multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 15/16. So 16 over 15. So we'll say P1 is equal to 15 over 4 times 16 over 15. So when we multiply these two fractions, we'll notice that the 15s cross cancel, and we're left with 16 divided by 4, which is 4. So price 1 is going to be $4. Now that we figured out what firm 1 will charge for their price, we can plug that into P1 right here, into the P2 reaction function, and we'll figure out what is P2, so price 2. So that's just going to be P2 is equal to 3 plus, we'll have 4 over 4. So this is just 1, so we have 3 plus 1, which is also 4. So price 2, the price set by firm 2, will also be $4. And lastly, once we know the price for each firm, all we have to do is plug it into the demand function right here to figure out what the quantity will be for each firm. So for Q1, quantity 1, the quantity produced by the first firm, that's going to be 12 minus 2 times P1 is 4 plus 4. So this is 8, so we have 12 minus 8, which is 4, plus 4, which is 8. So the quantity produced by firm 1 will be 8 units. And similarly, quantity 2, we're going to use this equation right here. So we'll find 12 minus 2 times 4 plus 4, and once again we also get 8 in this case. So the price set by each firm will be $4, and the quantity for each firm will also be 8 units each. So that is how you can solve a Bertrand oligopoly problem in which two firms produce differentiated goods.